Friends, welcome back to 13th week question and answers session 1. That is part 1 of question and answers of 13th week. And let us look at the first question. Pakistan celebrated its National Day on. The answer here is March 23. Pakistan celebrated its National Day on March 23, and to normalize relations between India and Pakistan, recently Indian Prime Minister sent a letter to his counterpart Nawaz Sharif. To the Pakistani Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi sent a letter to normalize the relations, and recently the Foreign Secretary already undertook SAARC Yatra, that is also with a view to normalize the relations. So, March 23 is the National Day of Pakistan. What is the significance of this date? The day, March 23, in the year 1940, popularly known as Lahore Declaration, All India Muslim League demanded separate country for Muslim dominated areas from British India, and that is the significance of March 23. To commemorate that day, Pakistan celebrates National Day. Please don't forget. Look into the next one. Name the state government which handed over the prop to CBI in connection with the controversial suicide of D.K. Ravi. We all very well know Sri D.K. Ravi, 2009 batch IAS officer, was found dead under mysterious circumstances, and the case was recently handed over to CBI by Karnataka government. Initially, they kept the deadline of 3 months for completing the probe. Later on, they removed that clause, and now unconditionally the case was handed over to CBI. Please look into the next one. In the MSME sector, micro, small and medium enterprises, MSME, nowadays a lot of buzz around this MSME sector. Because of the reason they are unable to access organized sector finance, that means they are unable to access finance from banks or financial institutions. Most of these organizations are in the clutches of money lenders. Look into the question now. In the MSME sector, there are approximately 5.7 crore informal enterprises in the country. We have already discussed in the previous classes what is informal enterprise, what is unorganized sector enterprise, and I need not explain once again now. And there are around 5.7 crore informal enterprises in the country, employing roughly 12 crore people. The figures vary. One report says 10 crore, one report says 11 crore, one report says 12 crore. Anyhow, there are roughly 6 crore informal enterprises in the country, employing around 12 crore people, and most of these enterprises are in the unorganized sector, and out of these, access to organized finance is approximately 4% only. That means only 4% of the organizations in MSME sector are able to access finance from either bank or financial institution, and remaining 96% are arranging their own resources, probably through money lenders with exorbitant interest rates. That's why the Prime Minister came up with a new initiative of Mudra Bank to assist these MSMEs. Recently, Prime Minister came up with the announcement of Mudra Bank to assist these enterprises. Please look into the next one. Name the Indian author who is shortlisted for Man Booker International Prize. Shri Amitav Ghosh is the answer. He, along with 9 other authors, were shortlisted for the Man Booker International Prize. Please remember, there are 2 types of prizes. One is Man Booker Prize and the other one is Man Booker International Prize. Man Booker Prize is given for the best novel in fiction, and Man Booker International Prize is given for the overall contribution to the literature. Understood? Man Booker Prize is for individual book. Man Booker International Prize is for overall contribution. And Man Booker Prize is given every year. Do you remember the last year's winner? Richard Flanagan got last year's prize. And now for this Man Booker International Prize, Amitabh Ghosh was shortlisted along with 9 more authors. And if you want to know the difference between this Man Booker Prize and Man Booker International Prize in detail, please go through this slide. This gives everything indicating the difference between Man Booker Prize and Man Booker International Prize. And in this regard, let me explain a bit what is fiction and what is non-fiction. Quite often we come across these words. Fiction is basically imaginary thing, unreal. Fiction is basically imaginary thing. Non-fiction is real. If I talk about autobiography of Mahatma Gandhi, autobiography of Sachin Tendulkar, these are categorized as non-fiction. And imaginary things like becoming a king, like becoming a Maharaja, like ruling the country by becoming a Maharaja, if I visualize and if I imagine these sorts of things, that is fiction. Fiction is imaginary thing, non-fiction is real, and this Booker Prize is for fiction only. This Man Booker Prize is given by the society in London, right? Please look into the next one. Recently, IRCTC has launched RuPay prepaid debit card. RuPay card developed by National Payments Corporation of India, NPCI. Recently, IRCTC has launched RuPay prepaid debit card in collaboration with, the answer is the Union Bank of India. You all very well know IRCTC is the organization which is into the train ticket reservations. NPCI is the organization promoted by 10 banks basically to facilitate or to integrate retail payments across the country, and NPCI developed RuPay card, and recently IRCTC launched RuPay prepaid debit card in collaboration with Union Bank of India. And by using this RuPay prepaid debit card, you can purchase train tickets, you can do shopping, you can do whatever you want. Right friends, look at the next one. There is a suspicious death of Shailesh Yadav. He was the son of Ram Naresh Yadav, who was allegedly involved in Vyapam scam. Ram Naresh Yadav is the governor of, the answer is Madhya Pradesh. All of us are well aware that in the recent Vyapam scam, governor was also indicted because he recommended 5 names for selection. Under these circumstances, the death of his son assumed significance. Let us look at the next one. Recently, Enforcement Directorate has arrested Gautam Kundu, proprietor of Dash, for allegedly raising thousands of crores from small investors through its collective investment schemes. All of us are well aware about a Sharda Group scam, or popularly known as the Sharda Chit Fund scam. The firm belongs to Kolkata. Similarly, recently, Enforcement Directorate arrested Rose Valley Group proprietor Gautam Kundu for allegedly raising thousands of crores from small investors through the collective investment schemes. Rose Valley Group has got their operations in West Bengal, Jharkhand and some of the eastern states. Right friends, look at the next one. We all know that Supreme Court has quashed section 66A of IT Act. We have already deliberated about it in our lecture part. It has also quashed section 118D of Kerala Police Act. The answer here is Kerala. The Supreme Court also quashed the similar clause, that is 118D of Kerala Police Act, along with section 66A of IT Act. Friends, look at the next one. Name the activist who filed the public interest litigation. PIL means public interest litigation with regard to Article 66A of the IT Act 2000. Recently, we all discussed about the quashing of clause 66A by Supreme Court. The initial petitioner is Shreya Singhal. She filed public interest litigation petition against the Article 66A of IT Act 2000. So, Shreya Singhal filed public interest litigation, and which subsequently led to the quashing of Article 66A by the Supreme Court. What is public interest litigation? Public interest litigation is nothing but anyone can approach court if anyone feels that common man is being affected because of some legislation by the governments, because of the legislation or because of faulty implementation of laws. If anyone feels that the common man is suffering, they can approach courts. That is called public interest litigation. Please look into the next one. In 2011, India signed $2.4 billion deal with the Thales and Dassault for upgrading 51 numbers of Mirage 2000 fighters acquired in 1980. Recently, Dassault has handed over 2 upgraded Mirage 2000 aircrafts. Name the country where Dassault Aviation is situated. When we are talking about the Mirage 2000 fighters, please don't forget this Mirage 2000 fighters are of Dassault Aviation, which belongs to France. Dassault Aviation manufactured these Mirage 2000 fighter aircrafts, and Government of India gave a contract to the company to upgrade the old Mirage fighters at a cost of $2.4 billion. And the country we are talking about is France. When we are talking about Mirage 2000 fighters, the manufacturer is Dassault Aviation of France. So, Mirage aircraft belongs to France. Please look into the next one. Recently, Comptroller and Auditor General report alleging undue favors to Robert Vadra, son-in-law of INC, Indian National Congress President Sonia Gandhi, has been placed in the State Assembly. Recently, a CAG report was placed in the State Assembly alleging for the son-in-law of Indian National Congress President Sonia Gandhi, undue favors were given. That CAG report was placed in Haryana State Assembly. The answer here is Haryana State Assembly. Let us look at the next one. Name the country which has signed an agreement with India on transfer of prisoners. Recently, Emir of Qatar visited India and met the Prime Minister, and an agreement was signed for transfer of prisoners between both the countries. When some Qatar citizens may be in Indian jails, Indian citizens may be in Qatar jails, to exchange these prisoners, normally these agreements are signed for transfer of prisoners. One such agreement was signed recently when Qatar Emir visited India. Friends, look at the next one. Name the country in Africa from where the operations of evacuation of Indians from Yemen is being taken up. Yemen is the trouble-torn country. Saudi Arabia started its airstrikes against Houthi rebels in Yemen, and evacuation of Indians from Yemen became the topmost priority for the country. And because of the situation in Yemen, India started their operations from the neighboring African country. The name of the country is Djibouti. Please don't forget, Djibouti is in Africa, adjacent to Yemen. There is small gulf separating these two countries, Yemen and Djibouti, and India started their operations from Djibouti so as to evacuate Indians stranded in Yemen, right? Please look into the next one. Based on the report of the Hyderabad-based voluntary organization Prajwala, this Hyderabad-based organization is Prajwala. Supreme Court has recently advised the government to arrest the persons behind the circulation of sex video clippings on internet. This Prajwala organization recently approached Supreme Court, and Supreme Court advised the persons responsible for circulation of such videos to be arrested, and recently CBI took into custody a property dealer in the state of Odisha. Please look into the next one. Bosra al-Sham, classified as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Please remember, UNESCO looks into the preservation of culture, and based in Paris. Recently, Bosra al-Sham was seized by rebel forces, and UNESCO suspected that the cultural heritage sites may be affected. That's why UNESCO is concerned about Bosra al-Sham, which was seized by rebels, and the country we are talking about is Syria. Please don't forget this Bosra al-Sham, which is UNESCO World Heritage Site, is in Syria. Look into the next one. Recently, HJ Hinge Company and Kraft Food Groups have announced merger to create Kraft Hinge Company. These two companies, Kraft and Hinge, one is food processing company, other one is grocery manufacturing company. Both belong to United States of America. Recently, they decided to merge. And the answer here is both these companies, Kraft as well as Hinge, they belongs to United States of America. Look into the next one. Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani. Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, who met the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, is the Emir of Qatar. Please don't forget, he is the Emir of Qatar who recently met the Prime Minister. Look into the next question. Empowered Committee of State Finance Ministers was announced so as to sort out the GST issue, and the chairman of the committee will be, what is GST? GST is Goods and Services Tax. That means to integrate or to unify tax systems across the country. So as to integrate or unify various taxes across the country, government wants to implement Goods and Services Tax by April 1, 2016. Now we have so many taxes like octroi tax, entry tax, like that. And by integrating all these taxes, government wants to bring Goods and Services Tax from 1st April 2016. In this connection, states have several observations, states have several objections, and Government of India recently constituted a committee of state finance ministers to sort out various issues with regard to GST implementation, and the chairman of the committee is Kerala Finance Minister K.M. Mani. K.M. Mani is the chairman of the committee, right? Please look into the next one. Name the country which is going to host the 3rd India-Africa Forum Summit. This India-Africa Forum Summit basically looks at India versus relation with other countries. India and economic relation with African countries. This India-Africa Forum was started in the year 2008. First summit was held in New Delhi. Subsequently, in the year 2011, the second summit was held in Addis Ababa of Ethiopia, and now the third India-Africa Forum is going to be held in India during the year 2015. It was supposed to be held in 2014 but was postponed due to the Ebola outbreak in Africa. Now, the third India-Africa Forum Summit is going to be held in October 2015 in India. Right, friends, look at the next one. International Civil Aviation Organization has recently advised all the countries to take up the medical examination for pilots or co-pilots, and also to ensure 2 pilots always in cockpit at any point of time. Recently, after the accident of Germanwings aircraft, we all very well know Germanwings aircraft crashed, and the co-pilot, with the intention of committing suicide, crashed the plane with the total 150 passengers on board, and subsequent to it, International Civil Aviation Organization advised all the countries to test pilots and co-pilots for depression and other disorders. Second thing is, advised all the countries to ensure 2 pilots, that means pilot and co-pilot, in the cockpit at any point of time, so as to prevent such incidences in future. And the question here is, International Civil Aviation Organization, ICAO, is based in Montreal in Canada. ICAO is based in Montreal in Canada. Please look at the next one. Government got approximately 1.1 lakh crore. Recently, through spectrum auction, government got approximately 1.1 lakh crore. These licenses, that means recently spectrum was auctioned, government got 1.1 lakh crore, and the license period is valid for a period of, answer is 20 years. Remember, in the recently auctioned spectrum, Idea purchased more spectrum than other players. Right? Look into the next one. Shri Vikas Swarup is named the new spokesperson for Ministry of External Affairs. So far, the spokesperson for Ministry of External Affairs is Syed Akbaruddin. Now, Mr. Vikas Swarup will replace Sri Akbaruddin as the new spokesman for Ministry of External Affairs. And I would like to tell you, he is famous for his book Q&A. He is famous for his book Q&A, based on which Oscar-winning film The Slumdog Millionaire was based. You all know about the Slumdog Millionaire? That is based on the book Q&A written by Vikas Swarup, and now Vikas Swarup is becoming the spokesperson for External Affairs Ministry. Friends, look at the next one. 2 host countries reached the World Cup cricket final. This year, Australia and New Zealand reached final. Of course, Australia won. During the year 2011, when the World Cup was hosted jointly, India and Sri Lanka reached the final. So, the question here is, the 2 host countries reached the World Cup cricket final. This is second consecutive time that host countries reached the final of the World Cup. Host countries means the countries whoever are organizing. The countries whoever are organizing are the host countries. If I am calling you for a dinner to my house, I am the host, you are the guest. If I am calling you for dinner, I am the host, you are the guest. Similarly, this year, Australia and New Zealand hosted the World Cup cricket tournament, and these two countries reached the final. This is the second consecutive time that the host countries reached the final of the ICC World Cup cricket tournament. Friends, next question. Name the state government which inaugurated the first state-run human milk bank, Jeevan Dhara. Human milk bank is very much essential because some children may not have opportunity of breastfeeding because of several reasons. Keeping that in mind, recently Human Milk Bank Jeevan Dhara was inaugurated with the help of a Norwegian government and JK Loan Hospital. The state is Rajasthan. Very good initiative, right? Look into the next one. Recently, a Dornier aircraft has crashed into sea, killing a woman lieutenant who has taken part in the Republic Day celebrations. The woman lieutenant Kiran Shekhawat, who took part in the Republic Day celebrations, unfortunately lost her life along with another lieutenant when the Dornier aircraft has crashed into sea off the coast of Goa recently. Right, friends, look at the next one. Name the company which inaugurated its second manufacturing plant in India at Sanand in Gujarat. Name the company which inaugurated its second manufacturing plant in India at Sanand in Gujarat. The answer here is Ford. Ford recently inaugurated its second manufacturing facility at Sanand in Gujarat, and its first manufacturing facility already exists near Chennai in Tamil Nadu. Right, friends? Look at the next one. James Murdoch. He is the son of Rupert Murdoch, who has met the Prime Minister and other ministers recently. He is the Chief Operating Officer of the media network name is 21st Century Fox, which operates Star Network. That means the Chief Operating Officer of Star Network, the name of the media group is 21st Century Fox, recently met the Prime Minister and other ministers in Delhi. Friends, look at the next one. Recently, ADB has stated, ADB is Asian Development Bank, headquartered at Manila in Philippines. Recently, ADB has stated that it would extend a loan of, the answer here is $300 billion to improve road connectivity in North Bengal and northeastern part of the country. Recently, ADB announced a loan of $300 billion. ADB is headquartered in Philippines. Right? After the passage of the insurance bill was recently passed. The limit of foreign direct investment allowed in insurance sector is, the answer here is 49%. Foreigners are allowed to invest in the insurance sector up to 49% only, and Indian management will be retained with the 51% share. Right? Look at the next one. Name the prominent person who was presented with the Bharat Ratna award at his residence by the President Pranav Mukherjee. He is none other than Atal Bihari Vajpayee. His health is not satisfactory. That's why President went to his residence and presented Bharat Ratna. Remember Atal Bihari Vajpayee, born on December 25, and his birthday, recently government announced, will be celebrated as Good Governance Day. Right? Friends, look into the next one. A subcommittee of Niti Aayog. We all very well know Niti Aayog came into existence during January 2015, replacing Planning Commission. A subcommittee of Niti Aayog has recently chaired its first meeting on rationalization of centrally sponsored schemes. There are 66 centrally sponsored schemes, and most of them has lost their relevance, and there is a case for integrating some of the schemes. Now, central government may not support many schemes because of the reason the center's resources transfer to states recently increased from 32% to 42%. Recently, as per the Finance Commission report, the state's share in the center's divisible share of taxes increased from 32% to 42%. Because of this, center may not support many centrally sponsored schemes. In view of this, recently a committee was established, a subcommittee under Niti Aayog was established to look into the rationalization of centrally sponsored schemes, and the subcommittee is headed by the Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh, Shivraj Singh Chauhan. Please look into the next one. Coal Ministry has recently cancelled 2 coal blocks allotted to Jindal Steel and Power as it felt there was cartelization. What is cartelization? Cartelization is the firms, whoever are competing in the auction, coming to an understanding with the dubious motto, deliberately reducing the rates. That is called cartelization. If cement companies, cement manufacturing companies came to the understanding, if cement manufacturing companies come to an understanding to increase the rates with the dubious motto, that is called cartelization. Recently, Coal Ministry has cancelled 2 coal blocks allotted to Jindal Steel and Power as it felt there was cartelization. Name the High Court which gave its verdict that prima facie there was no evidence of cartelization. After the government cancelling 2 coal blocks, Jindal Steel and Power approached Delhi High Court, and Delhi High Court stayed the central government order. Right? Look into the next one. Gandhi Peace Prize for 2014 was awarded to ISRO. The chairman of the committee who took the decision is the Prime Minister. Recently, Gandhi Peace Prize was given to ISRO. This prize was instituted in the year 1995 and is given to the persons or companies or institutions who are involved in social, political and economic upliftment of the country through non-violence. It was instituted in the year 1995 and the prize money is rupees 1 crore. Prize money of Gandhi Peace Prize is rupees 1 crore. There will be a standard committee consisting of the Prime Minister, the Chief Justice of Supreme Court, leader of the opposition and other prominent members. This year, the committee consisted of the Prime Minister, the Chief Justice of India, leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha, member of Parliament L.K. Advani and grandson of Mahatma Gandhi, Gopal Krishna Gandhi. Here, the committee chairman is the Prime Minister and the award is 1 crore. Started in the year 1995. Basically, it is given for the firms or institutions or persons whose actions will result in social, political and economic upliftment of the country through non-violence means. That is very important. Look into the next one. World Tuberculosis Day was observed on March 24 is the answer. And this was the day in the year 1882 when the tuberculosis bacillus was first identified. In the year 1882, on March 24, for the first time, the tuberculosis bacilli was identified. To commemorate that date, March 24 is observed as World Tuberculosis Day. Friends, look at the next one. Name the state government which announced sale of gutka will be non-bailable offence under the section 328 of IPC. Previously, ban has already in force in Maharashtra, but it is not being implemented properly in view of this, the state government made sale of gutka and other tobacco related products will be a non-bailable offence. That means, if you are caught selling gutka, you will be arrested and no bail will be given. That is known as the non-bailable offence. Friends, the last question of this part. Name the company which celebrated the completion of 50th year of service at the company by its chairman A.M. Nayak. You all very well know A.M. Nayak is the chairman of L&T, and he completed 50 years of service with L&T. A marvelous achievement for any person to be associated with a company for more than 50 years, and it is none other than Mr. A.M. Nayak, chairman of L&T. And with this, let us wind up this part 1. Please do join for part 2. Have a nice day. Thank you.